Let the real meditation begin. Do we begin? Do I naturally go into the...
Yes.
All
Your
right.
music
All
or
right.
whatever you were planning to do, scat version of everything.
Would you come up and shine your light and share your voice with us?
Sure. Okay, what are we going to sing?
We're going to sing one of my songs called Everything is All Right.
Okay.
Chorus is so easy, you're all going to get it. Johannes is going to get it.
Okay.
Hopefully I'll get it. Everything is all right, every night and every day. Everything is all right, it's gonna be okay. Everything is all right, every night and every day. Everything is all right, it's gonna be okay. A little birdie told me while singing in the dawn, every moment is a masterpiece. What planet are you on? I said I am a human. We're famous for complaints. He asked, how is that working for you? I told him that it ain't. He said, everything is all right, every night and every day. Everything is all right, it's gonna be okay.
Everybody.
Everything is all right, every night and every day. Everything is all right, it's gonna be okay. Could it be there's not a moment, both in and out of time, that isn't held and cradled in the arms of the divine? When you look beyond illusion, see behind the veils, you feel caressed by tenderness and know your love prevails. Everything is all right, every night and every day. Everything is all right, it's gonna be okay. Everything is all right, every night and every day. Everything is all right, it's gonna be okay. Have you noticed that things work out when you get out of your way? Have a nap, not a tantrum, and your letting go will pay. If you cannot see the beauty, your eyes are looking down. Lift your mind out of the gutter, and you'll see that love is all around. Oh, around. Everything is all right, every night and every day. Everything is all right, it's gonna be okay.
Everybody.
Everything is all right, every night and every day. Everything is all right, it's gonna be okay. Have you seen a sunrise lately? What a glorious affair. But even heaven goes unnoticed if you don't realize you're there.
Yeah.
Everything is all right, every night and every day. Everything is all right, it's gonna be okay. Everything is all right, every night and every day. Everything is all right, it's gonna be okay. do I top that?
You can.
Music is, well, what else, you know? Thank you for being here with me, Unity family, Namaste family, Zoom family, my Facebook tribe, my mother, my father. I want to thank no. When I was first starting out as a troubadour, my first big deal gig, very well paid, or so it could have been, but I wasn't really well. I didn't have much self-esteem. I didn't have a sense of worthiness. So I didn't even mention when they hired me what my fee was. Truthfully, I didn't even know what my fee was. I just was so excited to be getting the gig. They said, rent a car, come up to the Catskill Mountains and come to this hotel and sing a Saturday night concert. They were doing some very deep personal growth work. Network Chiropractic was the name of the organization.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, they call themselves something else now. But so when it was over, the founder of Network, Donald Epstein, came over to me and said, that was great, Scott. Now it's time to pay you. Here's a check. It's blank. Fill in what you think you deserve. So this is what I was going through when I heard that. I closed my eyes. I pretended to meditate or to pray, but really what was going on was I was having a freaking shit fit. And you know what? For all I knew, in my ignorance at the time, this was the way it was done in New Thought, New Age, spiritual circles. This is what happened all the time. I didn't know. So I took a breath and I heard myself say $200, 10% of what I charge now. But it was a stretch for me, you know, $200, you know, and he paid me, and I went to bed that night and I was just floating on this grateful, exuberant stream, like I was floating on a cloud. And as I was starting to fall asleep, my guidance said, you know, because I just kept repeating the words, fill in a check, it's blank, fill in what you think you deserve. And my guidance said, you know, that's pretty much what I said to you before you took on a body. I said, here's a life, it's blank. Fill in what you think you deserve. Because now, the universe didn't say this, but I imagined, you know, it was saying, look, I can't give you any more than you're willing to receive. And it's your self-definition, your self-esteem, your sense of worthiness that opens the gateways. Makes it, well, you can either go to the ocean with a teaspoon and say, hey, can I have a teaspoon of water? Or you can go with a bucket or a swimming pool or whatever and say, hey, I'm one with the infinite, and I would like a mansion, or I would like a loving relationship. And here's what I can conceive, and here's what I know I believe I deserve. So I walked around for 30 years or so, increasing my self-love. And as I did, I was willing to receive more and more money. Because I was self-employed, or I like to say higher self-employed, I was able to change my prices. And every time I did, it was really scary. And my parents would come into my head and say, who do you think you are, young man? And I remember them using those words and that particular energy because, as I look back on it, they felt really uncomfortable with my sense of self, my big, wonderful, splashy sense of worthiness. So they had to take me down a notch and a notch and a notch until I was resonating with their self-esteem. And that's when they felt safe, and that's when I felt safe. And ever since childhood, I've been, you know, working on creating, or let's say allowing, my own sense of self to be born out of God's definition of me, which is pretty unlimited, isn't it? So when I was about 44 last week, I was working in Massachusetts. I know, Dean, you know Kripalu, but this wasn't near Kripalu. It was about 2 hours away at a little uh, place called Row Camp and Conference Center, which was like the Omega, but a lot smaller. And I had just 25 years of going there every Memorial Day weekend, doing the music for this workshop on relationships by my friends Joyce and Barry Vassell. You know them? All right. And from there, I would spend 6 weeks on an East Coast tour, starting with visiting my mother and father in Manhattan. And every time I went, I packed my suitcase full of books and CDs, and before that, cassette tapes of my music and my writings, and hoping and intending and praying and manifesting, really good sales, right? So that by the end of the weekend, I would sell enough stuff that my suitcases, my baggage wasn't so heavy, and it would be a lot easier to get to my parents' house through public transportation. So this one particular weekend, the sales were not good. And I packed my suitcases and was heading out to the last meeting. And I picked them up and my back hurt. And every time I would do that, my back would hurt, but I would push, I would force, I would use my willpower to pick up those bags, and I would feel self-esteem because I was strong to pick up those bags and lug them throughout the East Coast. But this time, I don't know if it was my back or the Holy Spirit or my inner guidance or my anger, but maybe it was all of the above. But something inside me said, no, you're not going to do this. You're not going to do this anymore. You deserve better. So I didn't know what I was going to do. All I knew was that I couldn't do this anymore. There was just, I had grown to the point where I couldn't make friends with the pain. Have you ever gotten there where, I just, like Carly Simon, I haven't got time for the pain, I haven't the need for the pain. And maybe I learned the lesson enough that I was willing to let it go. But I didn't know how I was going to let it go. I didn't know. I just knew that I was ready. So I walked into and so you could say that I prayed. I didn't experience it as a prayer, but every thought is a prayer, right? So the thought, enough is enough, was pretty predominant in my vibration. Any Abraham Hicks fans out there? Yeah. Barbara, yeah. Wendy, yeah. So I walked into the meeting room and somebody just came up to me and said, so where are you going next? And I said, Manhattan. And he said, oh, really? We're going there too, him and his wife. And he said some magical words. He said, do you want a lift? And I said, sure. So buses and trains and all this stuff, taxi, all of it disappeared. And I started to relax even more. And then he said, so where are you going? And I gave him my mother and father's address. And he said, that's exactly where we live. Wow. So I ran it by him again, and I told him the name of the apartment building, and he said, that's exactly where we live. And he lived on the 15th floor. My parents lived on the 13th floor. And he actually, I told him that I had a sore back, and he just took the bags up. And so something inside of me shifted after that, and I realized, the universe is willing and able to bless us with ease and comfort, all of these things. And it's just my consciousness that wasn't ready to receive all that, to conceive it, and then to ask for it, and then to step into a different life. So here we are. We all have a container, a consciousness, based on our sense of worthiness or unworthiness, and our back, or whatever our body uses to communicate with us, is saying, enough. enough. You're not born to suffer. You're not born to harbor this pain or this resentment or these grievances. When is it enough? You get to decide when it's enough. I'm going to tell you a story. Get in your pajamas. Let's gather and snuggle. And I'll tell you a story, the story of struggle. It begins at a time before struggle began, in a garden called Easy, where all things were grand. The people who tended the garden had fun. They prospered and played and got lots of things done. One day, two plain folks, call them Adam and Eve, went under the covers with shame and some leaves. And then came the blame game, the who cut the cheese. Was it Eve or a snake or the wrong choice of trees? The day-to-day play, all the joy they were given, gave way to the sense we must work for a living. And God did reply, kids, you gotta be kidding. Everything you could want is right here, not forbidden. But they could not receive the good news. They thought that to play they must first pay their dues. By the sweat of thy brow we must now earn our bread. And they didn't know the gluten had gone to their heads. This is a true story. Then they passed this confusion right on to their kids, hiding their loins with more leaves from more figs. I have a little book that helps me remember these kinds of things. Hiding their leaves with more leaves from more figs, teaching their offspring original sin, who then passed it on to their nextest of kin. And they made their cause noble. They justified pain. To suffer's God's will. No pain means
No gain.
I did this at a balding conference and they all said Rogaine. That's not true. And if you have struggled through life unabated, when you croak, your rewards card will be activated. That's when you cash in your hard sacrifices and rest up in heaven with the rest of the righteous. And so, human beings, we assume the position of forgetting God's love didn't come with conditions. We dreamed up a God with a list of demands, with rules and with judgments and a whip in his hands, and over the seas came the pure Puritans to spread this work ethic all over the land. The pleasures of life must not ever be trusted. If you dare enjoy sex, you're eternally busted. God sits on a cloud with his one only son, and they both wear a frown if you have too much fun. But if you can grab a bull right by its horns, well then God is pleased and might send less shit storms. And then on your tombstone, your tribute might say, she worked hard for the money and toiled each day. He played by the rules, never did make a scene. And here lies his body, along with his dreams. Now, humans don't die. Let's find out what they do. We're not dead yet, just taking a snooze, asleep at the wheel, driven by our to-dos. The average adult has a list that won't stop, and to be who you are is just not near the top. But when your to-bes become priorities, you can fly through to-dos with the greatest of ease. But when your to-dos make to-bes disappear, you get caught into doo-doos right up to your ears. So what in the world is this thing, struggling? Allow me to define it, this world-famous thing. It's trying and trying and trying too hard with your own ego's strength that is no match for God's. You're doing your best And it's very courageous, but I'll do it myself is not self-advantageous. Yet when you join hands with the powers that be, then your source takes the lead and she leads you for free. So struggling's simply a well-worn belief, and beliefs can be bygones, replaced and released. See, what's a belief but a thought you've been thinking so long and so hard that it's doing some stinking? And when you can smell your own moldy beliefs, you break out of the mold and you get some relief. By now, you must be thinking, enough is enough. There's life beyond struggle. I just need to trust. Then, woo-hoo, you're ready to drop that belief, to reclaim what's under your ancient fig leaf. Because under your cover, there's nothing to hide. That slippery serpent's been speaking some jive. We don't work for a living, we're already alive. We're not here for surviving, we be here to thrive. We're not human doings, we're beings born to fly. So, get out your cell phone, send out a text to your family and friends, all your loved nervous wrecks. And tell them their nerves no longer be taxed. They can travel downstream and be much more relaxed. And if they say, hey, that just makes me afraid, 'cause lazy don't pay me, there's bills to be paid. Let them see easy does it's been working for you, that your life has your back and your trust sees you through. And if they say, hey, no way, Jose, that's just fine. Not everyone's hip to the trip, they're divine. But everyone get there in their own sweet time. And you help them the most when you're staying aligned. I'm staying aligned, staying aligned. Everyone, I'm staying aligned. And so when your isness becomes your main business, you feel just like Santa the eve before Christmas. So much to give, so much to receive, and it happens as easy as breath when you breathe. Your breath breathes itself with no push and no shove, and so goes your life when you know that you're loved. And if you work hard and work up a sweat, it's only because you love getting wet. Because when you're inspired, you follow your bliss. Even when you perspire, it feels effortless. Like the work that you're doing is being done through you. And you're thrilled to be letting the universe do you. Please, email this poem, although some might delete it, post it on Facebook and on Twitter, tweet it. Because millions are ready to hear the good news that struggle's a choice that you don't have to choose. And struggle-free living, oh my, how we love it. We flow down the stream on the boat, easy does it. Easy does do it, we find out at last. We don't stop at the tolls, we just use Easy Pass. We're taking it light in the slow lane or fast, because the joke's been on us and we finally can laugh. One final thing, and then I must go. You can't give up struggle completely, you know. There are rites of passages, powerful rites, where struggle is part of you birthing more life. I tried reading this poem to a woman in labor. She said, out of my face and don't do me no favors. Our struggles, let me read about our struggles here. Our struggles are sometimes endearingly human. They spice up our life like fresh garlic or So next time you struggle, please don't self-attack. Don't struggle with struggle. Let's cut you some slack. Because when you are kind to yourself in your struggles, the kindness alone brings relief on the double. And so, to wrap up now, because I'm feeling spent, let's sacrifice struggle this Easter for Lent. Or just do it now. Why procrastinate when the garden of ease is your natural state? It's been waiting with patience. It's well worth the wait. The garden of ease is our natural state. It's everyone's birthright and everyone's fate. The garden of ease is our natural state. Indeed. Yeah, you can do whatever you want to do. The invitation today is to celebrate Halloween by taking off your mask. You know, the mask is a persona created to survive trauma. That rhymed. Persona, trauma. So are you ready to let go of the drama?
Yes. Yes.
Just ask your divine mama. I thought I would close with this song, and my doubting mind said, you know, this is a song about saying yes to your dreams. And as I look out upon the Namaste experience, I don't see a lot of people with passionate, fiery energy to create dreams, even happy dreams. You know, everyone here is about peace. And then I talked about it with Angelica last night, and you know, peace is a very passionate dream. Yes. It's all that I want. It's all that I care about. It's all that we need to want. So we'll keep it simple. This is to fuel your dream, whether it be to be in a loving relationship, whether it be to have no pain in your next dentist visit. None of that is less important than when you come to a place where peace is your only goal. Every dream is precious to the universe. I wrote this after my first fire walk, and I was nursing blisters. Because when I walked that fire, I was thinking cool moss, and it was just going along just fine. And then I thought, I can't wait to tell my friends about this. Burn. Twinkle, twinkle, little star, do you know how great you are? Have you been pretending you don't know? Fear has been your friend and guide, telling you you must hide, but now your heart is heeding a new call. And the sky is not the limit if the stars are your desire. Just put your whole heart in it as you step out on the path of fire. Say yes to your dreams. 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 Say yes. In your heart God placed a seed, and everything you truly need is given you to grow your vision higher. And the only thing that burns we find are the bridges that we leave behind as we step out on the path and walk the fire. Whoa, whoa, God has dreams for you. God sees all God believes in you. Who are you to disagree? Say yes to your dreams. 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 Say yes. Your ego says you're not ready for change, and your heart says, follow me. The choice before you, it's always the same. You can play it safe, or you can choose to be free. And the sky is not the limit if the stars are your desire. Put your whole self in it as you step out on the path of fire. Say to your dreams, why don't you say to your dreams? Come on and say yes to your dreams. Say yes in your dreams. Say yes. Thank you so much.
Oh, wow.
Wow. The meditation is officially over.